Please, and I implore every person out here today who has not or who has made their decision, please don't make the same mistake again. We don't have the time, people. We don't have the opportunity. We definitely don't have the money to try it again and have someone come into a position hoping that they know what they're doing. Dear my fellow residents and citizens, I have made a decision to run for mayor of Sauk Village back in April 2013. The reasons for my decision are based on my personal commitment to our community along with the desire to improve the quality of life for all of my fellow residents for many years to come. It has become increasingly evident that the current administration is only aiming to please himself and a very small segment of the community. The residents are crying and clearly want help and want to change from the past 4 years of dictator management. What I hear from the residents across our village is that they too seek a better quality of life and to remain in Sauk Village, a place they call home for decades. They want and need their elected officials to do a better job of planning for the future and be prepared to meet any challenges that may come our way. I, along with the majority of our residents, envision a positive future and an imminent growth potential for our town. To best illustrate this vision, a core group of residents and I have collaborated to create a plan, affectionately known as the Burgess Plan, which outlines my vision and my statement of commitment to the great citizens of Sauk Village. The plan contains my ideas and initiatives, which, when elected, will be a benchmark by which I will be measured as a leader. This document is intended to share my vision for our village and to explain in clear terms where I stand. The mayor of our village should be a leader who can promote a vision and inspire to those that protect the best of our village while improving the quality of our life. My plans lay out specific steps that can make goals a reality, recognizing that as a leader, my first responsibility is to reflect the intent of our community. As such, I pledge to first build community understanding, consensus, and to engage in a listening campaign to understand fully the views. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nora Dabner. I'm on the vote for number 17. I'm running for village clerk of Sauk Village. I have worked for the Postal Service for 38 years in management. I have had numerous trainings, of which I could only give you a few, because 38 years is a long time. I've been trained in computers, I've been trained in electronic filing for record management, I've been trained in resolution conflicts, in which we do need that. I've been trained in safety and health, disaster plans. I lived in the village for 4 years, and in these 4 years, I have worked with the Census Committee and the Water Referendum Committee. I found in those 4 years that this village do need change. It needs enhanced programs and enhanced committees. We as residents here know that we don't have the proper water that's out here because it's with an airstrip in it. Now, anything that has to be added to water, then in order to take something out of water, fine chlorine, this is a serious situation. I have lived with it for 4 years and I had to speak up.
The coloring of your skin or the immune, the coloring of your skin or the immune, the coloring of your skin or the immune.
I retired from the Postal Service. I worked in Carson's. I stayed busy. I worked as a provider for the ward of Cook County Courts. I've also worked at age options for aging adults, connecting them to ground-based resources. I've worked on Area 1 campaign and Area 2 for the Barack Obama headquarters. Vote for me for change. Number 17. Thank you.
My name is Debbie Williams, and I am your village clerk. My husband Frank and I have been Sauk Village residents for over 25 years.
Our campaign manager, okay.
Frank and I will celebrate our 35th wedding anniversary in June.
Our campaign manager, okay.
Good afternoon. Seeking to serve you, I am Margaret cambell-pruitt, your candidate for village clerk. I made my home here exactly 5 years and 10 months ago. Upon settling in, I have enjoyed working with my neighbors to build the Lincoln Devils Community Club. My contributions were recognized by an appointment as liaison between myself and our governing board. With a history rich with professionalism, acts of volunteerism, and proven community service, I was appointed chairperson of the Beautification Committee and commissioner and chairperson of Human Relations. Championing many community-based projects is the heart of my being. I'm a retired public servant who has served as a senior public service administrator, school superintendent, principal, and teacher. I have previously been employed at the Department of Human Services and the Chicago Public Schools, where I was responsible for program implementation, fiscal management, policy decision-making, and professional development and training. I have represented our state on various national, state, and local committees and commissions. I have a strong customer-centric focus with organizational and specialized computer skills, all transferable skill sets that will ensure the success of our municipality. I am ready as an Illinois Notary Public, day one, to certify our official documents. Once elected, I pledge to record the minutes of all required minutes and present reports and minutes efficiently and timely. Maintain and respond to inquiries concerning village operations, timely update closing ordinances, develop tools that provide two-way communication between the citizens and our village, and to improve our village's website to make it inviting, user-friendly, and interactive. As your village clerk, I will perform any and all duties. Thank you.
My name is Enoch Vincent IV. I am running for mayor of your village. As you notice, I will speak from the heart, not from a piece of paper. The most important thing that we must understand is that the village belongs to the people. We work for you. Every time we get out of that concept and start doing what we want to do for the village, what you will see is the chaos you have been seeing that they have been putting on YouTube and Facebook.
The mayor gave a directive to the village manager. She followed the chief executive officer's orders. He ranked above all of us. He ranked above all of us. He ranked above all of us. And he gives her a directive, who are they, to undermine him. Right. And they did that. Well, they tried to do that. But they didn't get the fourth person. Well, let's put it all on the line right now. Put the chief, the police chief, black. Village manager, black. Ms. Williams,
Mr. Mayor, that's not.
But this is not a race issue. And you tell me. Nobody else want to say it because
I'm saying it.
You call
because you're wrong. You're wrong.
They say, oh, no. But you know what it is.
You're wrong.
Mr. Mayor, and we got here.
You're wrong. You have to sit up and let this
We have here.
make it a race issue.
On the street. I'm not done, Mr. Mayor. I have a floor.
I'm a what?
You're a puppet on the screen.
Okay. See, now that's direct. That's a direct.
Call it to what call it.
Okay.
But they have eyes and they see, they have ears and they hear.
Yeah, they do. They hear you. They hear you. And if anyone wants to sit up and listen to you preach, how can you be any better? How can you be any better than your predecessors come before you? How can you be yes? Because this is wrong. How can you be any better than your predecessors? Because you're a black man. How can you be any better than your predecessors come before you? If they preach racism, you wouldn't be here today. Why? All time. Fine. Call me what you want. I have no problem with that, sir. Fine. Talk. Fine. I don't care about that. I can accept it. I know what I am.
We face many more important issues like crumbling infrastructure, contaminated water. These are the most important issues that must be faced because they have a great impact on our lives, on the welfare of our children, our senior citizens. But no one wants to address those issues. They are all about power.
The mayor gave a directive to the village manager. She followed the chief executive officer's orders.
I have been elected to the Parks and Recs as chairperson. My expertise is in children. I'm also a retired firefighter and paramedic, so my expertise is in health. When I was in Parks and Recs, my first and main objective was to bring programs into this village. And when I tried to do that, it was taken away from me. I was removed from Parks and Recs. Then I was also involved with the Housing Authority. And when I was trying to do all I can to bring some.
Our campaign manager, okay.
Progress into our housing progress, they removed me from that. They removed all people who try to bring progress to this village. And that cannot be tolerated. Thank you.
First of all, you have to understand what the role of the village clerk is. The village clerk has to make sure she, first of all, has a pen so she can write down the minutes and make sure that the minutes are taken. It's not what I say, it's what the citizens say. What's the question? What's the question? What's the question?
I'm Nora Dabner, and I'm running for village clerk of Sauk Village. The duty of village clerk is to be precise.
We're transgressive, exclusive. We're transgressive, exclusive. We're transgressive, exclusive.
Hello, I'm Nora Dabner again. We have had so many flip-flops in this meeting, I'm really good in your credentials.
And you as a resident do not have to take time to come to a board meeting. I really never did agree with the fact that I had no voice. Has the past 4 years been perfect? Not.
The village clerk is often disruptive. The village clerk often does not keep her regular meetings. The village clerk generally doesn't know what you're saying. The village clerk has many a time have stopped residents from coming up and asking questions. Not only that, it's not only that, all of this court that's going on up here, and it's starting now, as you guys can see, we're not going to go through the next 4 years like this. You talk about steady decline, we're on the bottom now.
Because we're one big happy family.
You've heard a number of people give definitions of the duties of the village clerk, and I do not wish to totally be redundant, but I do need you to know that I am very much aware of the roles, responsibilities, and duties of the village clerk. I know that I am to keep the corporate seal, and I am supposed to be responsible for all papers and paperwork belonging to our village, and I am to attend all meetings of the corporate authority, keep full records, more so than anything as I keep those reports. It's one thing to keep them, and it's another one to deliver them. I vow that I will deliver our minutes in a very timely manner. I know that my role as a clerk is to assist our village as we move forward with developing our long-term strategic goal. I promise to provide focused accountability, flawless transparency, exceptional service, and valuable resources to rebuild our community. And lastly, I think I would want to provide, and I know that I will provide, a great level of responsibility and professionalism.
But I do have a personal note, and this is aimed at how I see things are going right now as far as this forum is concerned. Please, keep it fair. Please, if you allow one person to go off, you must allow everyone to go off. Because right now, that's how you cause confusion, when you allow someone else to expound on whatever they feel that they want to talk about and not take, like you said before, stay on point. Because we can all go off point and talk about other things. This is supposed to be specifically for the questions that you ask. If that person wants to answer that question, fine. If they don't, they move on. But it should not be a person allowed, because I have 2 minutes, I can talk about whatever I want to. Because as we stated before, at the very beginning, before we was out there, you said you changed the rules to say that we're not going to have a closing statement. Please don't try to interject that closing statement in your comments when you ask specific questions. I hope you keep it up.
I hope that all candidates will just refer strictly to the questions asked. We've had people deviate going into everything but the questions. Since most of you mentioned, you know what the responsibility of a village clerk is, in your own words, please give a detailed list of the duties and the responsibility of the village clerk and the parliamentary procedures in taking minutes. What should and should not be included in minutes.
But obviously, my opponents would tell you they were not done timely. When has the village clerk ever had to sit through the amount of minutes that I've had to go, meetings that I've had to sit through, and the arguing, and I have to listen to those tapes 4 and 5 times to make it make sense for you?
I guess that's why technology is really, really important, so that you don't have to sit through all of those minutes over and over and over, but just let the technology work for you. However, to answer the question, know that I am working to attain national certification as a registered parliamentarian, and I do believe that Robert Rules of Order are very, very essential, not just for the village clerk, but it's essential for any committee, commission, and definitely our board. I think when I first moved to this town, I noted that we did not operate by Robert Rules of Order. So I asked if our trustees knew Robert Rules of Order. I have since found out that they do not. And as your village clerk, the first gift that I would buy each one of our trustees, as well as our mayor, would be a copy of Robert Rules of Order, because I generally go no place without them. But the statute as a village clerk, section 31.75, reads as duties. The village clerk shall keep the corporate seal to be provided by the corporate authorities in all papers belonging to the village, the custody and control which are not given to other officers. The village clerk shall attend all meetings of the corporate authorities and keep a full record of its proceedings in the journal. The village clerk shall have the duties prescribed by the statute for the office of the village clerk as set out in 65 of Illinois, chapter 5, 3.1-35.90. Now we know that the statute is one thing, and we must operate within that guideline, but we also acknowledge that operationally speaking, that piece is very important as well. And generally what happens when you look at the operational aspect, then that's where job descriptions come about. And that's when you have the formalized plan of action that's expected. We don't have job descriptions here. I will work to do that.
Okay, excuse me, we have one more village clerk question because Marva did not have a chance to answer first. Okay, now we'll get to a mayoral question. And this would be, Enoch would be the first one to answer this question. This is Tom on personnel. Do you think Louis Tower was a good mayor of Sauk Village? Do you support or oppose Tower's appointment to the following individual? Bernetta Corley-Hill as Chief of Staff in 09, Frank Martin, Chief of Staff in 10, Sutley Group as Village Attorney in 09, Henry Turner, Village Manager in 11, Robert Fox in 2011. You have 2 minutes. Please explain your reasons for supporting. Please. You're going to be removed if you don't be quiet. Please explain your reasons for supporting or opposing each appointee, and you have 2 minutes to answer.
Sauk Village, the question that was asked appears to be a loaded question. It's a question that wants me to respond to someone's integrity. It's a question that wants me to respond to someone's inability to function because of what he was not allowed to do.
He
Because of that question, it was a question took about a minute to speak. It's confusing of that I support. In 2009, I did run on Lewis Towers. 2009, I did run on Lewis Towers. 2009, I did run on Lewis Towers. 2009, I did run on Lewis Towers.
Everybody in this room knows, or will know by the end of the day, that I ran with Lewis Towers 4 years ago, and I supported Lewis Towers heavily 4 years ago. Again, I ran 4 years ago with Lewis Towers. That I ran with Lewis Towers 4 years ago, and I supported Lewis Towers heavily 4 years ago. Again, I ran 4 years ago with Lewis Towers. That I ran with Lewis Towers 4 years ago, and I supported Lewis Towers heavily 4 years ago.
We're one big happy family.
Lewis Towers made some mistakes. We all do. But nevertheless, I'm going to say this. Trustee Hayes just made a statement. In the past 4 months, there have been quiet in our village board meetings. Only because the past 3.5 years, he was the one that caused all the confusion along with every other trustee up there. When you stop him,
now, I make a motion to adjourn.
I thought you were already.
No second. All in favor? Well, you know, whenever trustee Hanks say they were going to do it anyway.
I got to listen to you.
They so listen to you.
Yeah, I'm so glad you put that on tape.
Everybody here in the public meeting, trustees, from the mayor and stuff it down his butt. That's what he said.
when he was doing all the stuff, it was just going crazy. They just did what they wanted to do. Now, all of a sudden, he's gone. They have peace.
I reached out to Lewis Towers when he was first appointed, and first elected, and tried to work with him. I reached out to Lewis Towers when he was first appointed, and first elected, and tried to work with him. I reached out to Lewis Towers when he was first appointed, and first elected, and tried to work with him.
So the village will elect a new mayor in May of 2013.
Correct. And you're supporting Mr. Burgess and his slate of trustees will be running next year.
Correct.
Because we're one big happy family.
For the next 4 years, if you choose to put these trustees and the active mayor back in there, what do you think you're gonna get? The same thing you've been getting all the time. Constant turmoil and chaos. Nobody can get an answer up here. Nobody knows where the money, and you're forced to take a drink contaminated water.
First of all, I'd like to say, and I can say this in all earnest, you asked about what happened in the last administration. I foresaw this. I ran against Lewis Towers 4 years ago. I ran against Lewis Towers 4 years ago. I ran against Lewis Towers 4 years ago. And I told everyone at that time that this was going to happen. I stated that he was overwhelmed. He did not know. Okay, if you're overwhelmed with a position and you did not know how to run the village, you should surround yourself with people that know what to do. That didn't happen. That's why we have the turmoil. That's why we have the back and forth. Because I knew at the time and still know that it was run improperly. The people that were put in the positions were not people that knew those positions. They were coming in trying to learn it too. So that's what we had. Then we had the chaos on the village board because the village board saw that it wasn't being ran correctly. Please, and I implore every person out here today who has not or who has made their decision, please don't make the same mistake again. We don't have the time, people. We don't have the opportunity. We definitely don't have the money to try it again and have someone come into a position hoping that they know what they're doing. Please don't make that same mistake twice. We can't afford that.
So regardless of what took place in the past, it does not direct our future. What directs our future at this point, and that is going to make our village rise again, are those who you choose to put into office during the next 4 years. But know that it will probably take more than 4 years. I sincerely hope and desire that Margaret Cambell-Pruitt me will be one of those people that you put in office, because regardless of how muddy and murky it may seem right now, we shall rise again, and we will be the beautiful, beautiful village that many of you remember from years past.